What's up, future millionaires? Today in this video, I'm going to be revealing my best Facebook retargeting ad strategies that I've yet to see anybody else on the internet teach. Let's jump right into it. So here's what we're going to cover in today's video. How retargeting ads work, super simplified for you. My top 3 highest converting retargeting campaign types are revealed. How to properly set up retargeting ads in Facebook, plus some of my advanced hacks that like I said, haven't seen very many people use. And some of the most common pitfalls to avoid. Guys, this video is going to save you an enormous amount of time and money that you would have spent otherwise on these retargeting ads and whatever other Facebook ads that you're doing. So hope you enjoy. Let's jump right into this. So here's to explain retargeting ads if you don't quite understand them yet. Even if you do understand them, this is going to really simplify your understanding because I get lots of questions on this all the time. But super simple. It's just taking a warm audience you have, and this is just going to take 30 seconds for you guys that have already understand this, but taking a warm audience you have and hitting them with retargeting ads. You guys have seen this if you went on a website ever and you see the same exact ad on the product that you looked at on Facebook. That's exactly what you're getting, and it kind of follows you around everywhere. Now, that's going to be one of the campaigns I show you, but there's some other ones as well. And your goal is to turn warm people into customers for as cheap as possible. Keep that in mind at all times. And a warm audience is, just to define that, it can be your website visitors, your email list or customer file, anyone who engaged with your page. For example, they watched a video. Those are just some examples of the types of people you can use and you can retarget. So here are my top 3 highest converting retargeting campaigns, and this is really giving away a lot here, but it's whatever. So my number one is the max ROI campaign. I'm going to cover all of these in a second, but this is just a recap. My signature celebrity campaign, and last but not least, the plug the gaps campaign. And I know these may not make sense, but let's do it. I'm going to make this video quick and super value packed for you. So here's my max ROI campaign. This is just basically to get as max money as possible. And I've actually, for one of my clients, implemented this. They're a YouTube influencer, just retargeting their YouTube subscribers to a course. And I wish I had the case study right now. Maybe I'll pull it up later. But I have a case study where we spent like $600 and made literally like tens of thousands of dollars in return. It was like a 64x ROI or something like that. So whatever $600 times 64 is, that's how much money we made. It's absolutely insane. So you can take your website visitor, so people visit your website, let's say they just searched up randomly through Google SEO, whatever. You're going to take them to a Facebook ad, landing page, and then thank you page. But you don't have to do the landing page, thank you page. That depends on what kind of business you have. This works for local businesses, the most common one that I see not implementing this when they should be. Another one is obviously e-commerce stores. Most e-commerce stores implement this to some degree, but a huge one I don't see people using is like influencers. A lot of software products use this, stuff like that. This is the really simple one where you're just taking, it's literally this simplified. If you want to really do it, this is the max ROI campaign. It's pretty much the same thing. These two things might change in your business type, but this is kind of laid out for a local business. Now here's the plugs the gap campaign, and this is more for like a complicated campaign. I really don't recommend this for beginners, but this is where I kind of like to think of the funnel as a pipe, so people have to go through your ad. This is just an extended one. It could be shorter. It could be like a 3-step kind of system. But let's say you're running a webinar where you're selling something on the webinar. This is what it might look like. So you've got an ad, you got a landing page, you got a thank you page, a webinar. You guys have probably seen this before if you've gone through Facebook ads, even though you might not understand these terms or whatever. You probably have seen these exact processes. So you got like a registration for the webinar, thank you page after you register, then you got the actual webinar itself, and you got the sales page, and you got the sale finally. So you can actually set these up all through the Facebook pixel, which I'm going to show you how to do in a second. So don't be worried if you don't know what that is yet or don't know how to set it up. I'm going to cover that. But here's one that you see a lot. Well, actually not a huge amount, but this is basically plugging the gaps campaign, because you can think of it like a pipe with a bunch of holes in it, and you're going to plug the holes with the retargeting ads. So you have these things. Somebody might come through your ad. They might go to the landing page, but they might not register for their webinar. So we're going to hit them with an ad on that. Same thing if they're on the web thank you page, but they don't watch the webinar. We can plug all these holes with retargeting ads. You can do the same thing with like an email campaign, anything. But we're basically taking this pipe, and people are going to fall out of the pipe kind of like it's water as they go, and we're going to plug it and get them back in by using retargeting ads, or you can use email, whatever you want. So this is what we're basically going to do, and you could pretend like these little things here are the gaps, and we've pretty much plugged them with the retargeting ads. Now people still obviously are going to fall out still, but we kind of plugged it somewhat, and you can do retargeting ads specifically targeting people at each single stage of this funnel. So for example, you could target people that visited the sales page but did not purchase. You could target people that watched the webinar but did not go to the sales page, etc. So here's my signature kind of local celebrity campaign, and this is the one that I use hugely with local businesses. This absolutely blows up any local business. So you got your main Facebook ad over here. Usually this is like the best performing one to cold people. And this, guys, this works for not just, this doesn't only work for local businesses. This works for e-commerce. This works for everything. The reason I call it local celebrity campaign is because if there's a person in these advertisements, and it could be a company too in these advertisements, it basically turns them into a celebrity, because when people see the first ad, they start seeing 100, like a bunch more ads of the same person or the same exact business or the same exact product, and it starts to build a huge amount of rapport with that business or that person. And that's why this is extremely powerful, because when you open up your news feed and you see the same person every single day, they're providing you with a new value video or some kind of new value, then you're going to start becoming, I mean, just like if you go on YouTube and you watch the same people that you're subscribed to every day, except you're putting it directly in front of these people. Every time they open Facebook, boom, they see another video of you or your business or your product or your client's business, whatever. And what you can do is, I would typically take your best Facebook ad and you can set it up so that if they watch 50% of that video, if it's a video ad, you can make them get a bunch of your retargeting ads. So for example, if let's say you're a gym or you're working with a local gym, same thing works with e-com. Like I said, same thing works with any business. Let's say your gym. Let's say this is a tour of your gym and you're offering a free 7-day pass. Now, if they watch 50% of that gym tour video, then they might have a video where it's like 3 workouts you can do your first time in the gym. And one of these is like member testimonials. One of these is like a member transformation. You get the idea here. Every time they open up Facebook, they're going to see a new video. You can have as many as you want. And what's going to happen is every time they open Facebook, if they forget to fill out the form the first time, or maybe they're scared of putting their information online, what's going to happen is they see that every single day, that they're going to be constantly reminded of this business. And if they weren't motivated to get in the gym the first day, or it wasn't a good time, they're going to see it every single day until they finally come in. That's why this is extremely powerful. And it also isn't expensive, because you're retargeting such a small audience of only the people that have shown interest at the beginning, that you're not spending all this money on just huge mass marketing. And so you can do the same thing. If they click on the ad itself, then you can send them back and get them these retargeting ads. You're going to keep sending these retargeting ads, and every retargeting ad can lead back to a landing page or a lead form, whatever you kind of got, a sales page, anything. And then from there, you're going to take them to a thank you page, follow up with the lead, and then finally you can make the sale. Or you can just take them to the thank you page, or the sales instantly. Obviously, this kind of changes based on what kind of business you're running, but you get the idea. So, how do you set up retargeting ads? Really simple. Let's jump right into it. So you go to the Facebook Ads Manager, search Facebook Ads Manager, or log in, whatever you need to do, and you're going to choose your objective. Now, a thing that a lot of people don't know about retargeting ads, you might think that you're going to choose the same objective that you normally do for everything. But it kind of varies. It's a lot of times actually really cheap if you do the objective of like reach or video views. If you have a video, one of these two, it's actually extremely cheap. I'd say maybe the reach one is even cheaper than anything. And I barely ever use reach actually until I started realizing this trick. But you can get really cheap. You can retarget your people super cheap with the reach ads, because of the fact when you're doing conversion ads, Facebook is looking for people that are highly likely to convert, and therefore you're bidding against a lot of other people that are also looking for high level people to convert. But there's no reason when you need a high level of people that convert, when the people are already warm and we can reach them really cheaply, since it's such a small audience of, let's say, 1,000 people, even if it's 20,000 people. It's such a small audience compared to if you're targeting an audience of 100,000 or 500,000 or a couple million people. It's such a small audience that you can reach them way cheaper by using the reach ad type, because Facebook will specifically go to reach. So you're very likely to reach every single person that was in your audience for a very cheap amount. The other thing is too, is if your audience is really small, conversions will typically spend the whole budget. Like let's say you put the daily budget at $5 a day and you got like 100 people in there, it'll pretty much spend $5 a day no matter what, even if you only reach like 10 people. Compared to the reach one, it won't actually spend all of that money. And let's jump right into that. So what's this going to look like? How do you actually create the retargeting ad? Well, it's all going to come down to plugging in stuff here in this custom audiences place right here. And what you're going to do is you're going to do create new, and you're going to do custom audience. And you're going to choose one of these options. You can upload your customer email list. You can, if you put the Facebook pixel in, you can choose website traffic, and I'll show you how to set that up in a second. You can do app activity if you have an app for some reason. Offline activity, I've never quite used this, but you can mess around with it if you want to. I would say that's pretty rare for anyone to use, but the last one you got is engagement, and you can choose if you want people that engaged with your videos, people that clicked on your lead forms, people that clicked on your ads, people that clicked on your page, people that liked your page's posts, or people that interacted with your Instagram, people that interacted with a certain event. So many different options. But you basically just choose one of these options. Let's say you want to do website traffic, and you choose your pixel here, and it's going to pop up, which I'll show you how to do the pixel in a second. And from there, you can do someone that became a lead, if you have that set up, or you can do someone that all the website visitors in the past 30 days, or you could say, for example, if you wanted to do, so let's say I want to do my website visitors of the past, let me show you guys, for example. Since I already have the audiences here, let's say they attended the training. So I have a webinar. Let's say they attended the training, but they didn't buy. So I'm going to put a specific retargeting ad. I'm doing the plug the gap method that I showed you earlier. So I'm going to exclude people that didn't buy. So I'm going to exclude purchased. So I include people that watched the webinar, but I excluded people who didn't buy. So I can maybe put ads out to these people that they saw the webinar, but they didn't buy, so maybe I can give them more value and give them more incentive to buy. That's just an example. That's exactly how you can set this up. So let me show you how to make the pixel. Obviously, from there, you can continue this out. You can set a frequency cap with the reach method. That's another thing that I really like about this method, because you can set a frequency cap, and I wouldn't put it at 1 impression every 7 days. I'd probably put it higher than that. You'd probably want to put it like 1 per day I had maybe put like 2 or 3 per day. Put like 3 per 1 day. I think it's a pretty good start. And then it also kind of ensures that your audience. Now another thing, I'll keep this for the mistakes actually, but let me show you how to do the pixel real quick. So let's say you don't have a pixel. Open up here, all tools, pixels, leave the page. All right. Now another big mistake that I see a lot of people make, and I'll actually go back there because I see these people make this mistake all the time, but let's say you want to do a pixel, so we're going to make a new pixel. All right, load it up. All right, so I can only make 1 pixel there because I already made one. All right. Well, what you're going to basically do, it's super simple. You're just going to basically create a pixel, and it will walk you through the steps. But basically, you're going to get to a point where you get to a step that looks like this. It'll just tell you to like make a name. But then after you created it, you'll get a menu like this, and then you'll be able to either manually install this yourself or use a tags manager. If you have one of these websites here, click on this. If you have one of these, then I would suggest using this. If you don't, then you can do it this way. And you can go ahead and take this, copy this. I'm going to go into something like ClickFunnels, for example. You can go do this in Squarespace. You can do this in your website. But I'll kind of explain to you how the pixel works super shortly for those of you guys that haven't done it before. And I'll show you at the audience at the same time. So the reach, audience. All right. Pull up a random funnel here. And what's going to happen is this is different for every single kind of website that you use. You'll just have to look up how to install the Facebook pixel for your specific website. But if you already kind of understand how your website stuff works, you'll need to find something like this. That's a tracking code kind of deal. and basically you just paste that tracking code right in there. And so the way this works in ClickFunnels is this Facebook pixel code will go on the entire funnel, so it'll go on all of these pages. But if I want to put something on a specific page, then I'll need to go click on the page, and I'll need to put something on a specific page. And like I said, there's different tutorials on every single website, so you have to look up that on your own. But for this, I go to put a tracking code on this specific page, and boom, there you go. If I want to put a specific event. So you've also got the pixel that goes on the entire website, and then you've also got the events. Now there's two ways you can do events. You can, one, plug in your website URL, or two, you can put the event tracking code on the website. So first, I'll show you how to use the event tracking code. So you put, let's say someone generates a lead, and you put this on the thank you page, you copy this, and let's say this is the thank you page, we put this on the specific thank you page. So when somebody's on the normal page, they get hit with the normal Facebook pixel, but then when they get to when they opt in, they put in their email, they get sent to the thank you page. Now they're gonna hit that pixel code, and it's gonna tell Facebook this person became a lead, and then you can retarget them if you were retargeting website leads, for example. If you're retargeting people that became leads on your website, that's exactly how that works. And if you just put the Facebook pixel on the whole website, that's a really easy way. If you're just really basic, you want to do that maximum ROI campaign, and that's the only thing you want to do, just put the Facebook pixel on your whole website, and that'll do just fine. The other way that you can do it is you can set up to track leads is you do custom conversion. And if you do want to do it, if you don't want to put the pixel on an individual page, or it's a little bit difficult to figure out for you, you can just put the URL of the thank you page in here, and that's how you can set up your conversion. You can set how much it's worth to you, what kind of category it is, and give it a name, like became a lead on your website or something like that. Super, super simple. All right, so just to finish this off, we're going over the most common mistakes. So one mistake that I see is you do have to put an audience in here. Make sure if your ads don't run, there's only two problems there could be. There's either nobody in your audience or not enough people in your audience, or two, and you typically need, there's not really a minimum you typically need really, but if you only have like 2 or 3, it's pretty unlikely that your ads are going to run very much. The other problem that I see is that people don't have something in the settings right here, and a big mistake I've seen a lot of people make is you do have to put a location here. So if you want to do everyone in the world, you need to type worldwide, and you want to make sure your ages and everything are super broad here so that everyone that possibly visited your website actually gets these ads. So that's something important. I've seen people try to run the ads with nothing in here. That doesn't work. There has to be a location. And that's pretty much covers everything there. But as far as the other mistakes to not mess up on, so don't waste your time making retargeting ads when your regular ads don't even work. Making retargeting ads, if you made some regular ads and they didn't work, just because you make some retargeting ads doesn't mean they work. You need to go back and reassess why your initial ads aren't working. You should be able to convert people from cold. If you're not able to do that, you need to take a look at what you're doing and improve it. The reason for doing retargeting ads is to increase your return on investment. It's not to fix something that's broken. And the second thing is not having a big enough audience. I kind of tapped on that. Running high cost objective campaigns, touched on that. So those are my most common retargeting ads mistakes, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions on retargeting ads, you can just leave them down below. Now, if you are one of those people that's having problems with irregular ads, I want you to check out one of my videos called Facebook Ads Beginner to Expert in Facebook Ads Beginner to Expert. Yeah, so you guys can look that up in my YouTube, or maybe I'll put a link at the end here, and you can watch that video. It'd be extremely helpful for you in fixing your ad campaigns. I've also got one more video called Create Facebook Ads That Work. Maybe I'll put both videos at the end in about 15 seconds on each side of the screen, and you can pick them up there. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. See you in the next video.
I've been saying I was rich since I was broke. Yeah, it's a state of mind, you gotta